Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very, very, very well. Okay, one thing I always said was that when updates come about the Ruby Franke, Jody Hildebrand, 8 Passengers, Kevin Franke situation, I will be giving updates, and today is no exception, and today involves a really interesting character in this, that is Kevin Franke. Now, Kevin Franke is not a friend to this particular show. I have a lot of issues with Kevin Franke, and I don't think the public come at him as hard as what they should do. I think Kevin Franke is a disgusting father, actually. I think that he's not a good person, actually. And I think that he is as bad as Ruby Franke. We listened to their calls together of them talking about what they'll do with the children and all these different things, like how they're going to get out of this. Kevin Franke is not good, and he should also not have custody. I was going to say custard. Would love some custard right now. He should not have custody over the kids. So anyways, what we're going to get to today is this, which everyone was telling me to do because we talk about Kevin Franke so much. And I don't actually see that many people making videos about Kevin Franke. I guess because, like, his name isn't, like, the clickable one. It's, like, Ruby Franke. But I don't care about that. I care about the story. And let's get to this. Ruby Franke's husband questioned by cops after kids were found bound in duct tape. So I wonder if this was before or after the call. This was August 30th. August 30th? Was that how long ago this was? Shit, dude. August 30th. That's a long time ago. My God. All right. Let's get to this.
I'm entertaining Miranda right now.
That was really quick.
Before we start, we're just gonna kind of ask you a few questions about your involvement. Okay? So, first, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held.
You have the right to remain silent. Well, this would be a pretty shit conversation, wouldn't it, if he remained silent? What's your opinion on this? Him? Let me ask the audience.
Held against you in the court of law. Okay? You have the right to an attorney or to have him or her present while questioning. If you cannot afford to hire one will be hired to represent you.
I always wondered this. You know the way they're like, if you can't afford an attorney, we'll give you one? Do they just, like, give you the most shit one? You know what I mean? Then basically are you just like, well, I guess maybe it's the taxpayer money. But if they're like, you can't afford one, so we'll give you one, would they not give you one that will automatically get you guilty or something? Clearly, they're obviously not that great. Or maybe they are. I don't know. Are they good or bad? Let me know.
If you decide to answer questions, you can stop at any time. Okay? Do you understand your rights?
Public defenders. So are they good or bad? I'm just getting a lot of yup. Public defenders, they're not great. No, you get a public defender. They just, like, work for free. My neighbor is blasting music. Wait, I think my neighbors are having a party. And my upstairs neighbors are really cool as well. Oh, that music is blasting. I know you really can't hear it. I can, like, feel the walls. I want to go. But I hear my neighbors having a party, and my initial thought is not like, oh, I'm so annoyed. It's like, I want to be there. That's really frustrating. Damn, I really thought I made a great impression on them. Maybe next time. It'd be an awful shame if the two hot guys that lived above me invited me to their party. Oh, no. I'm just a helpless little straight boy down here. Straight boys? I had to say single. I'm just a helpless little heterosexual boy. A public defender is better than representing yourself.
I do.
Okay. Do you wish to speak to me now?
Well, I want to pick up my kids.
How about this? We're going to ask you some questions, and if you don't want to answer,
So now you want to pick up your kids.
you just say, hey, man, I'm not going to answer that.
Sure.
And we
But to just say, hey, I'm not going to talk, that's not beneficial to you, and then we're done. There's nowhere, and we're nowhere, and
Sure.
you understand that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so just for starters, what was your full name?
Kevin William Franke.
How do you spell that?
KEVINWILLIAMFRANKE.
And what's your date of birth?
I love that they're blanking on his date of birth like it's not all over the internet. Okay. All right. We don't need to hear this. Guess we'll just talk amongst ourselves.
I'm not comfortable giving my address right now.
Okay. But you do live in Springville?
I do.
How long have you lived in Springville for?
I moved there.
That's interesting not giving your address when they basically went into your family home.
So, and how many kids do you have, Kevin?
I have 6.
Do you know how many kids you have, Kevin? Name them. Name them. Name them. Name them. Name them.
Some of them are teenagers, 2 adults.
So are they all living with you, or
No, I haven't seen them for over a year.
any of them?
Okay, so he's just admitted that he hasn't seen any of his kids in over a year. But yes, please give this man custody of them. He's really went on the record multiple times saying he hasn't made much of an effort over the last year because he was scared of Jody. So maybe let's not give him the kids.
Them?
No, none of them.
For a year.
Over a year.
Okay.
I've been in a separation
From who?
from my wife and family.
What's your wife's name?
Well, then why are y'all both on that not leaked call, but call that went out to the public being like, we can work through this as a family? I thought y'all didn't know each other for a year and a half.
Ruby.
Ruby. When's the last time you saw Ruby?
The last time I saw her
Yeah.
was the 18th of this month. We met she requested me to sign over vehicles, or the titles to the vehicles, the vehicle that she drives, that were all in my name.
When's the last time you physically saw?
Okay, so the last time he saw her had nothing to do with the kids, by the way, but he is seeing her within this time, which means he can make effort to see the kids, but he's choosing not to. Please don't give him any custody. Last time was just to sign some paperwork.
The day that I moved out, July 24th, 2022.
So he hasn't seen Ruby or the kids since July 24th, 2020. So within the time, or 2022, sorry. So within a year and a half, he's made no real effort to see the kids. But please, give him custody. Fuck him.
24th of 2022.
Or July 25th, July 25th.
Janelle said she wouldn't let him see the kids. Yeah, but he also said that he had no problem walking away from it, and that he would drive by the house and see it boarded up and not know what was going on inside, but he wasn't looking after the kids. So, he wasn't looking after the kids. And he was also involved in the abuse that happened to the kids, by the way, before Jody, because this shit with the family channel was going on for a very long time.
So it's my understanding that at least
Oh. Talk amongst yourselves, guys, when they mute it.
Ivans, have you been to that home?
No.
You've not been to that home?
No, I don't know. I don't know what's anything that's been going on.
Like, this is good, man. Like, I would love to be able to help you out with this, and like, I'm seeing the light of being in this home because I'm unaware of your involvement in what's really going on. So for you to say that you're unaware of the status of your kids kind of makes, I know that sounds kind of crummy to you, but it sounds kind of good to me. Like, who lives in that home with your, is it ex-wife? Is you currently a...
Wow. That's a really good way of putting it that the person just said. They were like, you may think you're helping yourself, but you're actually helping me by saying that you don't know where your kids live or where they are or anything. That's such a good point for him to bring up. It's like, you may think that you're, saying the best thing right now, but you're actually saying the best thing for me because you're saying you don't know where your fucking kids are.
Separated wife? Like, who lives in that home with your children?
To be honest, I don't know.
So you don't know who's living with your children for the past year either.
Um,
Give him custody, guys.
4 of the children, our 2 older children, have moved out.
They're not at your home in Springville? And I'm not trying to trip you up. I can see you're hesitant to talk to me. I understand that.
Well, where I live.
Well, I don't think Kevin's lying about shit. I think Kevin is so uninvolved that he's realizing when he talks how bullshit of a father he is.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it for over a year.
Okay.
Crazy, dude.
That's tough. I can only imagine how that feels, man. I got kids. And not seeing them for that long.
I mean, Kevin doesn't look like he gives a fuck, to be fair.
I mean, of age to drive. Does she drive?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like I said, I know nothing is going on
So-
in their lives or anything going on.
How did you find out that you needed to come here to 55 North Main Street?
I received a message that I needed to come pick up my kids from the police department in Highlands.
And who was that message from?
Well, I prefer not to say right now.
It would just help us a lot.
He would prefer not to say who told him to come and collect their kids. Well, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Like, who told you that you needed to come here and get the kids? I don't feel comfortable telling you. That really isn't going to change much who you tell. If anything, this is one of the answers that actually helps your case because you came and tried to get the kids. Well, it was Ruby, wasn't it? It was Ruby.
I'll try to figure out who reached out to you because it makes sense that that would happen. I'm just not aware of anyone who did that from our department.
Right. And I'm not comfortable saying right now who reached out to me.
Why?
Okay.
So,
So
you
weird.
haven't seen any of your kids in over a year.
That noise.
That's correct.
And then, how old last time you saw her? How old is she now?
15.
She's 16. Okay. And then when all the kids left, Ruby took all of them?
Yeah, she stayed in the house and I moved out.
Okay. And did you ever try to reach out to the kids, drop by the home, or was there...
No. In the over 1 year, did you or did you not ever try to reach out to the kids or make any effort to see them? What does he say? No, he said no. He hasn't made any effort in over a year to even try to see them. So why the fuck is he here for the custody? Why the fuck is he here for the custody? You want them now? Those kids don't even know you. They're fundamental ages. You're talking about them being 16, 15, all like that. Please. Adam, adopt the kids. No, I'm good. Please.
Honored the no separation boundary that we agreed to.
It was a separation boundary for him not to see his kids.
Excuse me.
Did you have a no contact order in place?
Order? No, this was between my wife and
Okay, so they're like, was it legal that you couldn't see them? And he goes, no, not really. I just couldn't give a fuck.
Did Ruby ask of you when you separated?
What did she ask of me?
Did she ask you not to contact the kids?
Ruby invited me to leave the home.
Mm-hmm.
While
Ruby invited me to leave the home. It's an interesting way of saying that.
thought about the choices that I've made in my life and the way that I've treated her.
Okay.
And so I left.
And how long had you and Ruby been married before?
We were married in 2000.
So about 22 years?
When we separated, we were going on 22 years. Yes.
Okay. And during your marriage, how
I'm assuming he's just being overly cautious about what he's saying and like not wanting to say too much, but he's coming across drunk or high right now. And I know a lot of people in the chat were commenting this, but like I think it must just do with him being so overly cautious about what to say, but he literally is coming across like he's drunk right now.
I was disciplining your kids. How would you discipline?
I say while drinking.
Yeah, I'm not going to answer that question.
Okay, that's fine.
Have you been since separated or since they lived here in the city of Ivans? Have you communicated with your wife regarding like discipline with your kids or their care or their physical well-being?
No.
So he did not ask Ribby about the physical well-being of the kids or the discipline, which is so ironic because he said that one of the reasons he left the house was because he was so scared of Jody. So you're allowing your kids to just be with Jody when you feared her so much that you had to leave? Well, isn't that crazy? Isn't that really, really, really crazy that you care so much about getting yourself out of an abusive situation, but you have no problem about putting your kids in one? I think that's so disgusting, and I think to admit that and think that it's going to be something that like helps your case, I think is so disturbing, and I think just he is so useless of a man. I think he's so useless. So useless.
So is she doing this on her own and just telling you how your kids are?
She's not telling me anything about the kids.
She's not telling you anything about the kids because she's behind bars. And we want you to be as well. We want you to be as well.
Who's this female Jody that your wife?
Oh, great. Let's get into Jody.
Female named Jody.
She is a therapist and a life coach, I know. And she's...
A therapist and life coach are crazy ways of describing Jody Hildebrand. A bitch and cunt.
Do I respect her? Yeah, I think she's a very honest...
Oh, so this... Oh, okay. So, if you remember, when we were listening to the phone calls, Jody was being defended by Ruby and Kevin on the first call. She's an amazing woman, blah, 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 blah. And then a couple days later, they called again and they started saying that Jody was a bad influence. She was the worst. They needed to separate from Jody. So this is before they had their little talk about actually it's best for us to throw Jody under the bus. So it's really, it's fascinating hearing him be like, she's an honest woman, considering a couple days later, him and Ruby would be like, she's the worst person in the entire world.
Beautiful person, yes.
Okay. You place value on Jody.
Adam, can you say the C-E-N-T word on here? But I'm not saying as an insult. I'm going, you're so... Yes.
Jody?
I don't know what that means.
Like, do you value what she says and how she treats? Is your wife a client of hers? Is your wife a partner of hers? Is your wife a roommate with her? Is your kids?
This person is basically asking, are they fucking? He's going, is she a partner? Is she a situationship? Is she a... They're fucking.
Living in her house is what I'm trying to say.
I'm not aware of that, but I know that they've been in business for the last year filming.
Who's they?
Ruby and Jody. They
Ruby
film
and Jody have been in business.
podcasts, and so every week a podcast goes up. And
The highest form of work, by the way, a fucking podcast. Oh my god.
Connections with an X.
Like C-O-N...
C-O-N-N.
This is basically the stupid company Jody was running. I'm loving seeing that go to shit, by the way.
doing that and having...
Do I support them in the business?
Yeah, like, do you support them and think that what they're doing is a good thing, or...
Yeah, I support their business efforts. I think it's...
That's so funny that he supports the business, but yet in a couple days on a call with Ribby, they're going to start saying that business was the worst thing for their family.
a good thing.
Are you involved with their business efforts, or...
No.
So basically, he's uninvolved in everything.
So just Ruby and Jody? No
In
Kevin?
the business?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And were you involved in the 8 passengers account with your family?
Yes. I was in the videos, if that's what you mean.
Oh my god, this is so stupid. Were you involved in the 8 passengers? He was a part of the fucking channel, and he goes, well, yeah, I was in the videos. Yeah, dipshit, it was your channel. Where you and your wife abused your kids. Yeah, I mean, I was in the video. I was supposed to be in the video. He's like playing such an interesting game here of defending Jody, defending Ribby, but not being on Ribby's side. I assume we're all picking up on this. He's defending her, but he's also not involved. So he can defend her and support her, but he's not a part of it. Therefore, if Ribby gets in trouble, You know, he can acknowledge it, but he's not a part of it.
Briefly learned about this 2 hours ago.
So, did Ruby more so do
Jody's house is for sale, and you can see the listing. And someone sent that to me. I want to see that.
videos for the family? And how,
I hate that noise so much. Oh, it's really bothering me. Ooh, sorry. I know it's bothering y'all too. It's bothering me. By the way, whatever you hear, I hear 10 times louder in my ears, by the way. Like, for my mic to be loud for you, it has to be really loud for me. So it fucking gives me the biggest jump scare.
She started the channel in 2015.
Interesting. He's saying she started the YouTube channel. You were also a part of it.
And as far as I'm aware, from the time I left, the last video she uploaded was towards the end.
She uploaded.
okay.
And again, I'm not aware of anything she's done since our separation. I don't visit.
What's the buzz noise? Apparently one of these officers fucking rose toy or something in their pocket because they won't fucking mute it. I know it's not mine.
Fake passengers anymore.
Chapter of your life that's gone.
It's a past chapter, yeah.
So, how do you and Ruby communicate? Just through text, phone call?
Through text, and if there's anything considered an emergency, we agree to.
What's considered an emergency? Because you said you haven't checked up on your kids in a year and they were being starved out. So is that not an emergency? Right.
Communicate through a phone call.
Okay. And do you know her phone number off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
In his defense, I only know my phone number off the top of my head. I know my friends know their parents' phone number off the top of my head. I don't know anyone's phone number off the top of my head except for my own. If I'm stranded and I need to call on someone else's phone, my mom, better pull up Facebook Messenger or something because I'm fucked.
No worries. So, how often would you guys communicate while she was down here?
Soon we'll hear I'm just using my rose toy right now. Over.
Well, I don't know how often or long she was down here. We've communicated.
Dude, he's so dazed right now.
4 times in 2023 since January.
So are you aware of how she disciplines the kids or how she handles
No,
the kids with behavioral issues or anything like that?
no.
So at a bare minimum, you've just dumped the kids off on her and made her look after them. Even if she was she could have been a nice, lovely woman who looked after her kids. You literally left her to just look after the kids all by yourself, which in itself is a problem.
You're unaware of how she does that?
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of the physical condition of your children?
No.
Are you aware of the physical condition of your children? No, is what he just said. Sorry, that is so crazy. Are you aware of the physical condition of your kids? Nah.
I've chosen to trust my wife with this,
I've chosen to trust my wife. All right. How's that working out?
our separation.
Is that you allow her to physically provide for the needs of the child and you're just removed from that? I mean, you pay support
Just using my rose toy. Over.
questions, but
No, yes, my job is to financially provide for
I'm
them.
just trying to figure out like how much.
What is your job? What do you do? His job is to financially support them. What do you do? What do you spend your day doing? Not looking after your kids, clearly. Literally, this is child neglect.
In the caretaking of specifically, is it of those 2 kids?
I pay the bills.
Okay.
With my job, I provide the money, goes into a shared bank account, and that's my only involvement.
Okay. Like, there's a whole bunch of things I want to talk to you about, but I still can't get over this.
This is just... What? He goes, I pay the bills. Do I know if they're alive? No. But I pay the bills. Thank you, Kevin. Father of the Year award goes to Kevin Franke.
The fact that someone notified you to come here to pick up your kids, my guess is, was that Jody?
No, I'm not going to answer that question.
Ooh, they clocked his tea. He went, oh, that makes sense because Ribby could have called. And we heard a call, to be fair. But also, that's interesting if they're like, did Jody let you know that you need to go to the police station? But then Jody would know that he wouldn't be on her side. But then maybe that's why he's defending Jody so much. Not for long, obviously, when they realized it would help them not to defend her. Interesting.
All I'll say is,
Well, you
someone
said you
notified
trusted
them.
her. You said that you think that she's
They're clocking him right now.
placed value on her, but you obviously.
She is an honest. I know her to be an honest and a trustworthy individual.
That's bullshit. Jody's an honest and trustworthy individual, which is crazy because, again, in a few days, he's going to say that she was the worst person ever. She broke up their family. I'm pretty sure his lawyer is literally saying that... I'm pretty sure his lawyer is saying that Jody is the reason their family broke up and stuff. So it's funny how quickly they changed their turn.
And so, yeah, I trust her. And, I received a communication that
Come on, Kevin Franke, pick up the pace here.
from my job and drove down here. That's all I know.
That's true. What bills are you paying, Kevin? Food bills? The kids aren't being fed. Water bills? They're not being bathed. Medical bills? They're not being looked after. Like,
I've come to pick up my kids and to take them home with me.
you came to pick up your kids. Sorry. You got a call that your ex-wife was in prison for abusing your kids, and you thought, I'm going to drive down and go collect the kids. Kevin, quick. Where did you think the kids were when she got arrested? Quick.
Yeah, is there custodial paperwork that says that you're like a... There's no custodial paperwork denying you of rights, correct?
There's no custodial paperwork at all.
Period.
There's no custody paperwork at all. That's how little involvement he had in the life of the kids. Sorry, that is crazy.
When we said that last year.
Rose toy, over.
What questions do you have?
Oh, I want to know what's going on.
He wants to know what's going on. Maybe then he'll answer some fucking more.
Kids.
Well,
And a lot of that kind of hinges on who asked you, because if we had been the one, like, I'm not going to say you fit, but I'm confident a cop didn't call you because we wouldn't have wanted you down here at this point in our investigation. So, having said that, I think it's time we be honest with you, right?
That's really interesting. They're basically saying to him that he's not helping his case by being here. I never thought about that. Yeah, I mean, he's there really early that they still don't have answers for anything. So if anything, he's not going to help anyone's case right now, and which is why he's being so fucking vague right now. But that's really interesting that they're literally saying to him, like, we actually wouldn't want you here at this stage, so, like, we don't really know what to tell you.
Sure. No, and I didn't lie.
You're
Someone contacted me, but I don't want to
You said
say
someone
without.
from your office, but okay.
Well, I don't recall saying someone from my office.
Our office.
someone, yeah. So we don't know who called you.
Wait, they're literally like they're going, you said someone from your office. And he's going, I didn't say that. No, in my defense, I didn't hear him say that, but I just love that they're like throwing his own sentences in his face, whether or not he did say them.
So if we knew who called you, then we could help you.
It would make more sense.
But
Well, I don't know the legal ramifications of implicating individuals who contacted me. And so without a lawyer here, I don't want to answer that question.
that's okay. But you want to know specifics of the case, which we can't share right now because it's under investigation. So
I see.
yeah, so we would like to ask questions about where you found out, but we'll respect that if you don't want to share that information. But I am curious, when you guys had the previous 8 Passengers YouTube channel. You guys got a lot of heat for neglect and child abuse. A lot of people commented those things on there. Why were they commenting those things?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. You were getting accused of abusing your kids on your YouTube channel. Why do you think that was? That's a great question. Maybe because you were abusing them on camera.
We had a son who was acting out in very selfish behavior.
Blaming the kid.
This was Chad, and none of this is strange or odd. You could get on YouTube and find out.
Rose toy, over.
It's like a double-edged sword.
Whereas the question is, what do you believe, right? There was even an article written in Newsweek magazine in 2020 on it, or was it Newsweek? No, Business Insider, where we were interviewed, and we were pretty straightforward, and we talked about it, and we shared our piece.
So it's interesting you're saying that we were answering questions about whether or not we abused our kids, but earlier you were saying that Ruby set up the channel and Ruby uploaded the videos and Ruby did that. It seems that you only care whenever you get media attention, whether that's good or bad.
Basically, it boils down to he was being very cruel, and
The kid was being cruel. This is why he doesn't deserve custody. He is literally blaming their children right now. He's saying it all boiled down to our kid was cruel. I'm sorry.
mean to his siblings that he shared.
And being mean to his siblings like kids normally do.
Removed him from the room, and we said you can sleep anywhere you want. Sleep on the couch, sleep on the pull-out bed, sleep on the floor for all we care, but you're not sleeping in that room with your brother. He chose to sleep on a beanbag. So
now we're being told that they said that he wasn't allowed to sleep in his bed, so he was allowed to sleep anywhere else, though, including the ground or, the... Fuck you. Fuck you.
9 months later, he had made a lot of changes in his life.
9 months later of sleeping on the ground and a fucking beanbag, he goes, but okay, he chose to sleep on a beanbag on the ground. And you know what's fine? In 9 months, he changed. In 9 months, he showed a little bit of improvement. He's a fucking kid, you dipshit.
And he was ready to, and we had moved by that time.
They had moved house before he was able to sleep in a bed, by the way.
And
Their kid.
he was ready to move into his own bedroom.
He was able to move into his own bedroom. Fuck you, Kevin Franke. Fuck you. Lock him up, too. He's a child abuser as well. He is a child abuser as well.
Made a video about it, and
They made a video about how proudly their child had changed after being abused.
sleeping for 9 months on a beanbag. And that is what all the uproar was about.
Uproar for good reason.
Like with his behavioral issues, is that something you and Ruby talked about together? And then did you?
Let me ask the audience. Okay, we're sitting in silence.
Helping discover yourself and fix behavioral issues and things like that. Is that something you and Ruby sought out?
He's getting off so light, dude.
Correct, like some of the things.
Oh, let me ask the audience. We're in silence again. Come on, don't be shy.
And,
Okay.
And I supported it. And so together we held boundaries for our son.
Together we held boundaries. No, together you abused.
Choosing honest and responsible choices. And when he chose honest and responsible choices consistently.
So yeah, true. He was also funding the abuse in recent time. He said, well, I paid the bills. I don't know where the kids were, but I paid the bills. So you were paying for them to be abused. You were paying for the house that they were being abused in. You were paying for, and all that. Fuck you.
Is when he began to get his privileges back. And that was
Great parenting, right?
well, that was the uproar, right?
Yeah.
And so but yes, through 2000.
No, yeah, I agree. He shouldn't have custody at all. Yeah, he needs to go to jail too. I'm the biggest advocate for Kevin Franke being investigated. You have no fucking idea. No idea. No idea. Come on. Let us hear it. So you can put your fucking rose toy in our fucking ear, but now we can't hear? Fuck you, officer.
Down to spend time with Jody, they would meet on Zoom.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, we were in spring stuff. Well, even in 2019, she would meet with them.
Rose toy, over.
And Jody, to your knowledge, like, decide to collaborate, come together and mesh lives, because that's what's happened.
Well, no, we were told that Jody came into Ruby and Kevin's life, and Kevin was intimidated by her and happily chose to walk away. That's the story.
They decided to start a business.
Built on abusing kids.
One?
So while you and Ruby were together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but there were, at that period it was pretty nebulous. I don't know.
What's that word mean?
It was just a lot.
They're going, what the fuck are you talking about?
It was, let's start by, doing podcasts together.
Yes, one podcast per world, changing the fucking world.
Published a book together recently. You can find it on Amazon. It's not a secret.
What the fuck? He goes, they just published a book together. You can find it on Amazon. This is not a sponsorship. This is not an infomercial, bitch.
Was business thriving? Like life was good between those two?
Well, not that I was aware.
Well, at some point, and again, I'm not digging into your life, but I'm trying to understand this. At some point,
We took,
they kick you out.
when you talk about a business, thriving, in terms of business and money, when we stopped 8 passengers on YouTube, we lost 90% of our income. So to say that business was thriving, in my perspective, no.
Got it.
I don't think it ever was after that.
Was that part of your guys' reason for separation after you guys ended 8 passengers?
Was that part of the reason? The reasons are because of ways that
Kevin Franke versus talking at a normal pace challenge. Level impossible. Holy shit.
I treated my wife, and
Rose toy, over.
and some of my own addictions that I was working through and seeking.
Okay, so now he's saying that he left on his own will because of his own addiction. But I thought you said that you left because Jody came into the picture. Sorry, that was your new narrative. But now you're saying you left because of your own addictions. But I thought you left because Jody forced you out. Wait, whoa, your story has just changed, mister.
Help with pornography.
Thank you for sharing that.
And
You say his addiction with pornography? Okay.
made some wonderful progress.
Like, is that something you came to the realization that you needed help and weren't doing things right, or is that something that, like, Jody helped you guys recognize that maybe Ruby needed more? I'm trying to understand her involvement in your guys' life. She's my focus, just to be honest.
I understand, and I can perceive that.
I'm obsessed with them. Right after he opens up about being a porn addict, they go, by the way, we want to know more about Jody. We're not really interested in your life. And he goes, oh, sorry.
Jody and Ruby have a close relationship, and
Thank you for sharing that. It was so shady. They went, we really don't give a fuck.
Jody saw the need for me to get help. And frankly, I agree. This space has been exactly what I need to face, my own addictions and receive the support and help that I've needed. And so this space has been very, very good.
Girl, this is not a therapy session. We do not give a fuck. Oh my god. Time out, please.
So when you stated that you and Ruby have this no contact, that you guys just verbally
They're going, okay, thank you for telling us that you love porn. We're now going to circle back to Ruby, if that's okay.
agreed upon, was that an idea given by Jody that she recommended you guys have that space and not contact one another?
I'm not aware of that. The invitation for me to leave and take space was from my wife.
Okay.
Wait, but you just said that Jody was the reason that you left, not Ribby. Now you're saying Ribby's the reason you left. I'm an edible down and a couple White Claws, and I can still clock that. You have to be more fucked up than me right now. How can you not see that? What the fuck? In my current state, I can still see it.
While Jody and Ruby were friends and collaborating and doing podcasts and
Sure.
Well, you're the custodial parent of these children. I'll
Rose toy, over.
explain to you why we're involved. So I don't recall the exact time, but sometime before 11 o'clock today, we received a phone call from 911 on our dispatch that a 12 to 13-year-old boy was knocking on doors in a neighborhood asking for food and water, that he was severely emaciated.
How can you, as a parent, listen to a police officer tell you that your child was like desperately begging people for food, and your reaction is just kind of like this?
He had
What does emaciated mean?
skinny, scrawny, malnutrition, not enough food, not enough water to sustain life.
They're saying that these kids didn't have enough water to sustain life. And what's his reaction to that? Barely moved.
So he
I'm
had
sorry, what?
Oh,
Oh, sorry, he's shocked at it.
extremities on his hands, on his ankles, and those were cut
Dude, why is he just not reacting?
to tie him down. Take a second and think about what I just said.
The police officers are trying their best. They're like, please take a second to process this. Like, why is there no reaction? You've just been told that your kids have been abused, starved, everything, and you're like, what? That's crazy.
That's the condition of your son.
Oh, okay. So now he's gonna give us a little bit of, because the police officer was literally like, stop and process that. So he now knows that is something that is quite shocking. So now he's like, fuck off. Oh, he didn't commit to the bit for long. Sorry, he was just wiping his face.
Your son was taken to the hospital. A warrant has been applied and granted by the Department of Child and Family Services to remove from your wife's care. So no one right now is going to have access to these two children based on their physical condition. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Would you condone that behavior?
Would I condone that behavior?
That's my job. My job is to find out your knowledge.
What the fuck? This police officer was like, your kids are no longer in her care because they were in such bad condition. What's your opinion of that? Like, do you have anything? And he goes, what's my opinion? You should be furious. You should be terrified. Where are they? What are they like? No matter how uninvolved you were, what the fuck is this?
Of treatment of these
Based on your
precious
description,
children.
no. Again, I don't know the details, or I don't know what's going on.
Rose toy, over. Sorry, there's something so crazy about him being like, well, I don't know the details and I don't know anything. You've literally just been told that your kids were near death in their appearance, and you're like, well, I don't know the details. I really can't speak on what I don't know. What is wrong with you? But this is someone that in court right now is fighting over custody. Right now is fighting over custody of these kids.
That sounds
Horrible.
Oh, sorry. He says it sounds horrible. It sounds horrible that this happened to the kids.
That's my thoughts, but again, we might be different on that. We're gonna sit here for a second, okay? We're gonna go out and talk. I'm not saying you're still not free to go. Are you under arrest? Absolutely not. We just have lots of questions that we need to figure out. Lots. Okay?
okay, because
Your children are under medical care right now,
and what does that mean?
and it means that you don't have access to them. My understanding is that they are, what is that?
They're in the custody of DCFS.
And they will be for the next 7
There's a medical hold on them right now, so for at least the next 72 hours, based on our understanding.
You're literally being told that you have no legal access to your kids right now, and you have no emotion. You have no emotion. You've been told that your kids are near death, they've been put under a 72-hour watch, and you have no legal access to them. What are you doing?
At least the next 70.
During observation,
They're-
you're being watched. to make sure
DCFS
they can
is going to provide you that information, and they can better answer your questions along those lines. That's handled through them. Okay? So we'll be back.
So I want you to think about some.
Dude, either I don't know if he is genuinely this deranged or he's drunk or high. I feel that they would know if he was under the influence and would test it, so I'm going to say that he's not, but there's no justification for how, like, flaccid is not the right word to use here, but, like, passive, not flaccid. Adam, really? He's being here.
I don't know. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Oh, listen to me, and then they cut the audio. Apparently we can't listen.
For a minute. Don't have no idea where they're at.
Well, I don't either. But,
Okay, we're gonna hop out here. We'll be back in a minute. Okay. That's still recording audio and video. Okay, so if you would.
Sorry, it's so crazy that they literally just said to him, first of all, they just told him that he's being recorded, so we're not going to watch him on his own because they know that whatever. They've literally just been like, you don't know where your kids are, and we don't know where your kids are. Is that not shocking to you?
Phone calls.
sure.
Okay, so the camera's on him, so he's going to do a little bit of deep thinking. Right. So this goes on for a very long time. But don't worry, we're back now, and he's crying, apparently. Oh, he's crying now. It took him 15-ish minutes to cry. He couldn't cry whenever he was being told that his kids are missing, abused, anything. But when he has 15 minutes to get into the zone, he can cry. Perfect. Diva. Yes. It's bullshit. Oh.
What's going to happen?
Oh, now he's crying.
I don't know.
And there's conveniently a tissue box just right in front of him.
I'm being honest with you. I don't know. Haven't had an interview with
I
you.
don't press charges against my wife.
Possibly.
Will they press charges against my wife? Dude, you do not know if your kids are going to survive the next 72 hours. Let's focus our fucking priorities here.
I think given the circumstances, that's highly appropriate, but again, I don't know your wife. I was hoping to gain some insight from you, but I don't necessarily know that that's something you wanted to,
I trust her.
a road you wanted to travel.
You trust her. Okay.
And not without legal representation.
Yeah, alright, I get it.
love my wife and I trust my wife. And so, I mean, this feels like getting run over by a steam truck while you're sharing.
He said that in this moment, it feels like he's being ran over by a steam truck. You were just told. You were just told that your kids didn't have enough water to survive. That your kids were binded at the hands, emaciated, starved. Didn't know if they're going to survive the next 72 hours. And you're going, you sitting down here and hearing about that happen feels like you've been ran over by a steam truck.
Yeah. I can tell you're caught off guard.
I thought I was just coming here to pick up my kids, and for what, I don't know what or why, but... And I was planning on taking them back with me, and just...
I mean, I'd love to have a candid conversation with you, I just don't know how it's going to be received by you. I don't know you, but I can tell you my perception of how this happened.
Oh.
Well...
Whether you value that or not, it's...
Look, I'm interested in facts, but at the same time,
I'm only interested in facts? Facts, bro. Like, what the fuck?
I'm interested in all the facts.
But you understand our facts. Our facts are that you have a child that is emaciated, malnutrition, and
Dude, there is something just... Oh my god. He is just not right in the head either.
Did any of you spend time with her?
Rose toy, over.
She went to... She was requested to go to the hospital along with Russell.
It is really crazy how much he's making himself the victim in this. How are you being told your kids were abused and you're the victim? It's crazy, isn't it?
Folks, I don't know what to do.
He goes, well, I don't know what to do.
I want to... You realize that I have a picture of my family on my wall, and I look at it every day.
I have a picture of my family that I look at every day. You have not seen their faces in a year? You've not seen their faces in a year. But I look at a photo of them every day. Without that photo, you wouldn't know what they look like because you haven't made any effort in a fucking year. Fuck ye. Fuck ye. That is such bullshit. Oh, please. Please.
I work every day so I can get back to my family and save my family. And everything you're sharing to me just sounds...
I work every day so I can get back to my family. You said that you haven't made an effort in the last year. Not only that you haven't seen, you literally admitted that you haven't made any effort in the last year to see them.
Sounds like a made-up story.
A made-up story. A made-up story, motherfucker. You were just told that your kids looked like they were dying. Your kids are under investigation health-wise for the next 72 hours. But this is a made-up story. Please, if he ever gets custody of these kids, I swear to God, I will start protesting in the streets. Like...
I have no idea what you're talking about. Like... it sounds like a horror movie.
So I think this is when it's hitting him that he may also be in trouble.
And I get you're all doing your jobs. I get it.
The investigators are also doing the thing where they sit in silence because the person will always say more. By the way, this also works on dates. It also works on dates. If you say something, the person says something, and then you don't answer it, they will automatically say something more. I don't do this on dates, but when I had an argument, if you will, on a recent date, I sat in silence, and then he said more that actually helped my argument even more, and I went, yes. Yes. So, it was great. I was able to then, yeah.
I understand. And this is my life.
Kevin, why are you starting to cry now?
I just want my kids.
You just want your kids? They don't want you.
I just want my kids. I just want my family.
So he wants his family, which is interesting because you're implying Ruby as well. But you've just been told that Ruby abused the kids, so even if you didn't abuse the kids, why would you want the kids to be back with the person that abused them? Rose Toy, finished.
We want to have your family, dude.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why these things that you described happened. I don't know.
He goes, I don't know how they happened.
It's almost like I want to say, I'm sorry, you must have somebody else. Because it's like, am I in the right conference room here? No.
I love that he's referring to this as a conference room. Am I in the right meeting right now? He is delusional. He is delusional, honey.
That's what like. It's real, you know. I'm having a hard time accepting this and dealing with this.
Sorry, he has a hard time dealing with this. Thank you so much to my amazing mods, by the way. Thank you so much. He has a hard time dealing with this. He has a hard time.
You're telling me that you're taking my kids from me.
Taking your kids from you? You haven't seen them in a year. And you also said that you didn't make an effort to see them in the last year. No one's taking your kids from you. No one is taking them from you. You took yourself away from your kids. Please.
Like, we need to transfer the titles of the car to my name, you know, or we're going to cancel these credit cards and stuff like that. So just stuff related to the finances really is our only communication.
So basically, he's openly saying that his only communications with Ruby are really to do with, like, car payments and all that bullshit, right? But that's really ironic because you're saying that you need the kids back and all like this, but you're openly admitting that your communications with Ruby weren't even about the kids to start with. So you were not being there, right? And you also didn't care to even hear about it.
Last year, sure. We've had zero communications regarding the kids.
This is not helping your case.
I've had no reason to believe or think that there was anything going on. For all intents and purposes, I woke up this morning looking at the picture of my family and making my commitment today, as I do every day, that I'm going to live an honest, a virtuous, and a responsible life today. And what you're sharing with me just feels like a sucker punch.
It feels like a sucker punch. Well, your kids were being punched. I just love that they're sitting in silence.
Brianna, do you have questions? Okay.
If I still have a family,
Yeah.
and
Someone said, I assume, like, disagreeing with me, do you understand abusive dynamics at all? Or abusive relationship dynamics. But he didn't say it was an abusive relationship with Ribby. He said that he took himself away from it because of his porn addiction. He didn't say there was any abuse that happened. So, who are we to assume that there was one? He openly said that there wasn't one. And he chose to walk away from the kids, and he chose not to make an effort with them. He said that it was his doing, but he didn't say that there was abuse. They later changed their narrative, but they didn't say it at this stage. And I'm talking with my hands now, like blah, 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 blah.
Like, I just... I don't know what my plan is. My plan is to go to God.
He doesn't know his plan. Oh, boo-hoo. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Oh my god. Rose toy. Almost finished.
I am just heartbroken. What you all are sharing with me. And,
So now he's heartbroken.
I feel like...
Somehow the phone ringing on mute is actually making me more irritated than anything else. It's reminding me of waking up in the morning.
I feel responsible.
Rose toy going crazy for the finale.
Separating, leaving. It hurts.
Okay, so we're ending it with a cry. Is he really gonna squeeze out one last tear?
Yeah. I wish I was a better husband.
I wish I was a better husband. How about wishing you were a better father? Oh, so you're gonna cry and say, I wish I was a better fucking... Oh my god, wish you were a better father. Dipshit. Oh, but don't worry, he's crying.
I know you're all doing your jobs. And I know you all have the best interests of my kids in mind.
Do you have the best interest of your kids?
And I appreciate them.
Thank you. Thanks. That means a lot.
I just want my kids back. I want my family back. I want my wife back.
But you were just told that your wife was abusing your kids, but why do you want that wife and family back?
Okay.
Some deep breathing for the end. Oh, Rose Toy finale water show. All right. It's bullshit. I mean, it's genuine dog shit. Ending it with, I want my wife back. I want my family back. You were literally told that your wife was abusing your kids, but don't worry, you want her back. He's an awful man. He deserves to be investigated too. And I hope he is. Really hope he is. I can't believe he's in court trying to fight for the fucking custody of these kids. He should be being investigated. Being a better husband? Yeah, how about not being an abusive father first? Jeepers creepers. We'll leave it there.